Hello, Blake Simon. Please try to explain the experience of your short film Faces for my audience.
It's a tall task.
Yeah.
The film follows a group of college students on one evening, and we soon discover they're being stalked by a mysterious entity. And that entity is up to something or on a journey, you could say, that I think we would not expect.
Right. Okay. The editing here reminded me of Gaspar Noé at all, or Noah.
Oh, yeah,
Was he at all
yeah.
a conscious influence on you?
Not a conscious one. But I'm a fan of his work. I actually had the pleasure of meeting him in Paris a few years ago. And he was very nice. We had a lovely conversation. But I don't know that I thought about his work intentionally while making this film. But I appreciate the comparison.
Heck, the strobing effects, that's where I saw the some sort of similarity. Yeah.
Sure, 100%. No, I see what you mean now. I just never thought about it.
Heck. Yeah, who knows where the inspiration comes from, right? So what was your
Yeah.
cast like to work with, and how long was this shoot?
Uh, we shot for 3 days.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah. There's 3 consecutive days, and it was just a whirlwind. But the cast was incredible. I mean, it was my biggest sort of ensemble cast, and I couldn't have asked for better people. Obviously, the leads, Kaylin Rice and Ethan Daniel Corbett, were just astounding to work with. And I think all films live or die on your cast, but I think Faces especially so. And I think you know Ethan and Kaylin in particular really had their work cut out for them with their roles. They played Judy and Brad respectively, and so it was amazing having them.
Nice. I want to go back to my first question a little bit. Like you explained the plot of the movie, but tell me what it's like to watch this short. What's the experience like?
I think it's a very subversive experience. I think at the start of our film, people will feel like they've seen this type of movie before and they know what they're getting into. And I think
Uh,
it feels at the start like you're expecting something a la Halloween. And at the
okay,
end of the
yeah.
film, I think you realize you've been watching something very different and are made to feel different than you might have expected in just another horror film.
Heck, I bet people have come to you with completely different conclusions of what it all meant, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Lots of questions. I think it invokes a lot of thought and questions from people, which is very fun. Very fun. I'm excited because this is our world premiere. So although a handful of people have seen it and discussed it with me, I'm very eager to see it with a full audience.
Well, I like ambiguity movies from time to time. It depends on how it's done. Are you
Yeah,
ever afraid the audience isn't ready for it?
that's a really good question. I suppose there's always an awareness of that. Um, but ultimately, the story is what the story is, and it has to be told, right? I think sure you can shy away from ambiguity, especially when it comes to just marketability
Mhm.
and making sure people are you I would stray away from ambiguity when it's at the cost of the experience or the enjoyment of the film. Um, but if you can have your cake and eat it too,
Yeah.
that's where you get something special.
Yes. And yeah, it's just like a case by case thing. Don't rule it out
Completely.
completely though.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
audience I'm
exactly.
talking to, yeah. All right. Um, so we're talking about different conclusions. Are there multiple messages within Faces?
Hmm. I would say there are. I think,
Uh,
without giving too much away, uh, Bases does something that I think people aren't used to seeing, which is you're made to feel one way about this supernatural being. And then by the end of the film, you're kind of forced to question those assumptions.
mm,
And I think it's perfectly appropriate to walk away feeling and thinking different things. I think it puts the audience, I hope, in uh, maybe uncomfortable is not the right word, but a perplexing situation where they have to really question how they feel and why they feel that way, and you know, hopefully in some way relate to what's being shown on screen.
All right. Do you watch a lot of short films? Do you think that's something else that's underappreciated? The short film experience?
Just do I think shorts are underappreciated?
Yeah. And do you watch a lot yourself?
I do watch a lot myself. I suppose mostly at festivals.
Yeah.
I really, even when there's features, which I will of course check out. I love seeing the shorts. I love seeing uh, just like-minded filmmakers and kind of the new generation of people cutting their teeth, because it's really really exciting, and you meet so many people doing such similar and such different things than to what you're doing, and I love shorts. I suppose that, yeah, I think it is underappreciated. I mean, at festivals, it's certainly appreciated, but in
Mhm.
the larger world, most people don't watch shorts unless it's, they know someone who worked on it. And I think there's such beautiful storytelling in shorts. It's really its own medium. And when you can pull it off well, it is, of course, shorter, but it's just a different experience than a feature, and it can be something really beautiful. So, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm a big fan myself. I've been watching a lot more lately. I don't know why. I'm just compelled to watch more short films. And one reason people should watch more short films is you don't always have time for a feature film.
That's true. You can get in a lot more shorts during the time you could one feature.
There you go. That's true as well. That's true as well. So you're in Montreal now. What have you
Hmm.
been to Montreal before? What are you thinking and feeling at this moment, or before this moment, I should say, maybe?
Sure. I have been to Montreal before,
Ah,
but it's been a while. It was probably 11 years ago,
oh wow.
give or take. And I think I was here for maybe 2 or 3 days.
Oh,
I remember it, but I didn't get to explore enough. And I'm very glad to be back, fortunately, for a longer period of time. And I'm just excited to really take in the city, um, see the sights while, of course, enjoying and being at Fantasia.
right. When did you arrive?
I arrived not last night, the night before.
Okay, so you've been to
So yeah,
McGibbon's.
yeah, I haven't yet.
Yeah.
Almost went to McGibbon's last night, but then
Oh,
we had this Frontiers after party that went really late, and I was
nice.
like, all right, this is the latest I can stay up. But I think tonight I'm gonna end up at McGibbon's.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And what's great about
Have you been to
Montreal?
McGibbon's?
Oh yes, I was at Fantasia. I was there on Wednesday and Thursday, so I had a
Oh,
couple of.
sorry to have missed you.
That's okay. That's okay. But yeah, good times. I left both nights at at 1 o'clock or midnight or whatever, and the party's still bumping because they don't shut down in Montreal till 3 a.m.
It's crazy. I know. It's very impressive.
Oh yes. So some of us can make it till 3, but not every time.
Yeah, I don't know if I have that in me. We'll see.
It's a lot. You gotta have a lot of gas in the tank. Um.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to filmmaking. Is there something above all else that compels you to make movies?
There absolutely is. I just don't know that I can tell you what that thing is. But it's true. It's truly a need, I would say. Um,
Mm,
like breathing. I know that probably sounds very pretentious, but
uh,
I think when people ask me about getting into filmmaking, um, I think it's great. But something I say to anyone um, who's like thinking about it or
mm,
thinking about if it's for them, you kind of already know it's not if you're thinking about it,
mm,
because it is a very difficult world, and
mm,
the people I know, like me, that do it and continue to do it, we don't really have a choice. Like, it's the thing we have to do. It's not something we thought could be fun and are trying out, really. It's we are compelled to do it despite the blood, sweat, and tears and the pain of the process. So I am absolutely compelled above all else. Um, but I just don't know what that thing is. It's
uh,
just it's something I'm chasing that it's an itch that you can never scratch, or at least you can scratch temporarily when you make a film, and then it's back very soon after.
Some sort of intangible, I guess.
Very intangible. It's a little like a curse.
Okay. Geez. And where are you based?
I'm based in LA.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, it's a good place to be based with that
it is.
tangible itch.
That's right. It is.
Yeah,
It is.
very
It's a
nice.
great place. Great filmmaking scene,
Where in
obviously.
LA are you based?
I'm on the west side.
Okay.
So I'm near Santa Monica, but not quite that west.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
Santa Monica is nice.
Yeah.
Um, what I spent a week in Santa Monica.
Oh,
um,
wonderful.
oh yes, good times. What was your biggest challenge making faces?
That's a really good question. Obviously, there were challenges. I feel
Mhm.
so blessed to have the crew we had in cast because they made so much of it painless. But of course, nothing's painless. I think the biggest challenge was our schedule, and just how short it was. 3 days is,
Yeah.
as we talked about, it's a lot, especially for this movie with so many locations and people. My previous film was ostensibly two people in a single room.
Oh,
Um, so this was a much bigger package in basically the same runtime. So running around to different locations while trying to maintain a sane turnaround. We
yeah.
shot on like a holiday weekend, so it was literally,
Oh,
I think, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and yeah, that was probably it. It was just how much movie can you fit into the schedule, um, while sticking to your hours and not driving everyone crazy and being humane. Um, that was probably the hardest part, just because there was so many moving parts, and even like in the house, like we as you know, having seen the film, we
yeah.
use so many room, like almost every room of that house, and it really is the same location, but we walk through the whole house. You have a bedroom scene, bathroom scene, like a hallway scene, and even those moving around, it's like you want to set up lights, but you can't because it's going to be in the shot where you're following her through the house, and just fitting all that in was very tricky.
All right. And would you make a feature in the same spirit of this short film?
100% yes. I would make a feature of this story. In fact, I am.
Oh, oh my. Okay.
I'm
All right.
currently developing the faces feature.
All right. Is that well? Thank you very much for your time. It was nice talking to you today. Is that what's next for you? A faces feature?
Indeed, it is. That's the plan. I think faces. It feels like the right one to make that jump, and I've been looking for that right one for a while, and I'm glad to finally have it with faces.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Michael. It's been a pleasure.